From the moments of looking around at the cast and crew, sitting at the table, drinking the beer that's from Hastings, Nebraska at First Street.
It's really that mentality of no stone left unturned.
Willingness to try things new by everyone on our crew.
I had a small little breakdown, but it was good.
Filmmaking is very much problem solving, adapting.
It was absolutely an amazing and incredible experience.
I'd love to have at it again, you know?
Yeah, that was definitely a challenge, but something we enjoyed.
That's what we're there for. It was awesome.
Anything you guys want to say to the BTS camera before we put it away?
See you in theaters. I actually like that one though.
Our locations, they presented their own challenges. When you think about it, making sure we're running with cameras and lights and audio equipment, batteries. We had to have all the batteries charged. We had to have enough batteries. We had to get our equipment down 45 minutes down a rocky gravel road and then passed into some private land. And we used ATV side-by-sides. Luckily, we had 2 of those that helped us travel, get our cast and our crew back to some remote locations. We're crossing creeks several times.
So we're here. We just climbed up about that far. You can see some of our crew heading to go pick up the other half where our talent is, and so we had to carry all the gear up. I might be halfway up this hill.
Yeah, that was definitely a challenge, but something we enjoyed. Something to think through the next time, or if we're ever planning something like that, is logistics of, hey, we might have this idea to shoot on this far side of this cliff, but how do you get 6 people up there? How do you get 6 people up there safely? How do you get all that gear? And how do you do it in a timely manner that you can keep going with shots? Because once we're out on location, the lighting was a key thing. We only had so many hours in a very limited production schedule with the lighting before it got dark, and that was definitely something that we experienced, but something that we worked around and adapted to.
This is where we can show the majority of the fall.
Yep.
Right? It's safe enough to where we can put 2-3 people back here to catch, but then we can have that fall, the close-up angle here. So we're here on our location scouting. This is going to be actually our final location scouting for the climax of the feature. So we've been able to find a place that's going to house multiple different scenes, and I think this is going to work awesome. We're out in the middle of nowhere with God's country, basically.
You gonna keep us safe, Jason?
I'm gonna try.
I hope so.
Our survival guides were huge and very integral in having a bunch of city slickers out in the mountains. Especially when we arrived the first night, a couple of us ate some ants, which was way out of some of our comfort zones, but then over the next couple days, by the end of it, I believe we all tried either an ant or a cricket.
So these are wild crickets from Colorado. These are cripple crickets.
As opposed to domestic.
As
Right.
opposed to
Mason, come here. Pause there. Can I get a second? Nope. Ooh, look at the wings. We're gonna take off the wings. Do you eat the wings?
What's up?
You can. They're probably not the best. I mean,
Yeah, I don't doubt that. Ooh, nice. So,
What are we eating?
we're eating grasshoppers. So
Hell yeah.
I like to call this guy
You
because he
call that
looks
one?
nice and toasty.
Fine.
Oh, he's still moving.
Oh, I just broke the legs off.
All right.
All right, cheers.
Well, no, that's interesting.
Mason was like, that's great.
Well,
Like, that's bullshit.
Not the best. I'd prefer ants over that.
yeah.
ants were
That's
good.
it.
Those
The
ants were
are
good.
better.
One of the things I'm taking away from, or what I reflect on, is the little things, surprisingly. Not when we're rolling. It was either prior to setting up the scenes, from us tearing apart a shower curtain and trying to figure out how to place it in these windows to get this diffusion.
No sticky to glassy.
I'm glad I just got that.
On what?
You putting tape on your face.
Unbelievable. In his own natural habitat.
Or from the moments of looking around at the cast and crew, sitting at the table, drinking the beer that's from Hastings, Nebraska at First Street. and loving that.
That's a brewski.
So good.
Fantastic.
It's great.
Beer and wine glasses. This is how we do it. Optics Digital Media.
To sit around the campfire at the end, eating the salmon or the fish. If it was salmon, that would have been awesome. But eating the fish that Meredith had caught with her hand.
That's insane. We just caught that like a half hour ago.
Those are the moments that you definitely go back and reflect on, because that was a part of the whole experience itself. It was a blast, and to not reflect on that, what are we doing it for, you know?
Filmmaking is very much problem solving, adapting. I feel like that's especially as a director or a producer, that's one of the biggest challenges. There's always going to be things that happen. We experienced right before production, right before leaving production, we were still in pre-production, we had a vehicle go down. We had to find alternative means to get our equipment out to Colorado, and we had to kind of problem solve, and luckily we got some help from our friends at Hastings Ford Lincoln. Shout out to them for helping us with the vehicle.
This is fun, isn't it?
The kofifi is so hot.
Oh, it is.
Hey!
We got room back here.
Yeah, you sardines up there.
But really, I mean, that's what this job comes down to, is being able to roll with the punches, adapt, whether it's something like that with transportation, whether it's the sun setting faster than you initially thought, whether it's not having the locations in mind exactly how you thought they would be, but being able to adapt, being able to plan ahead and kind of roll with those punches. That's what makes a really good filmmaker, and also what makes a really good production go off without being a disaster.
So right now what they're doing is they're testing this fall, and they're falling into each other's arms, and we get a collective aww.
Can you let everyone know it's food time?
Food time! Come and get it!
That's what he was referring to. Oh,
Feeding the cast and crew definitely had its challenges, especially when we were out on location. So out on top of a mountain at base camp with no Walmart within 5 minutes that I could just go to. And so this created some opportunities, and one of those was almost running out of propane. I got very scared one moment, and I had a small little breakdown, but it was good. We found another canister, but one of those things was I forgot several utensils. So some of the survival guides actually made me a spatula. They literally took a branch, chopped it up, cut it, made it flat so I could flip burgers that we had brought out in a cooler. And that was just one of the cool experiences of being able to feed people out there, but also have it be out on a mountain in a remote location.
How are you flipping this up?
No, it's just me and Dip.
Walk me through this process.
So I put the burger on the thingy, and I take this homemade thingy, and I flip that thingy. Those are technical terms.
Okay.
Stay in school, kids.
So I think some of the challenges that we faced when we were shooting in the Airbnb in the Colorado Springs, not only just how to separate the scene, with lights and shadows and haze, however that is, it was how are we getting all of these shots in one night and one morning, an afternoon, right?
All right, we have approximately 12 seconds to film this before it goes.
Challenge accepted.
How do we make it look like time has passed? From cutting of Brady's hair at 1 a.m.
We're gonna see what the after is.
oh, look at that!
It's late. It's 1 o'clock.
To a completely different wardrobe within two hours. Completely different setup. So that was the challenge in itself, was figuring out the time and the pacing, and then moving all of these pieces into each different scene. That was a challenge, and I'd love to have at it again. That's what we're there for. It was awesome.
So Mom, I promised you I'd be safe. I'm being moderately safe, right? Right. Ooh.
I think I enjoyed most being out in nature. I absolutely love trees, and where we were at had a ton of trees, as you can see through some of the short film, but then through some of the behind the scenes footage. I absolutely loved it. And so especially having those Colorado mountains in a place that not many people get to go was absolutely an amazing and incredible experience.
All right, guys, we have just finished a wrap on Heuristic. We're packing up the last of our gears, but one thing we want to let everyone know, this wouldn't have been possible without the guys here at Colorado Mountain Man Survival. We got Jason, got Matt over here. Matt's actually cooking up a fish that we're all going to try. Yeah. Who caught the fish?
Team effort.
With their hands they caught that. But again, thank you to Colorado Mountain Man Survival School. They drove us around, they showed us what we could eat, what we couldn't eat out here in nature, crickets, ants, bunch of vegetables and everything, and really put up with us for a weekend. So thank you, Jason, very much.
You're welcome, man.
Woo! What I appreciated most about this entire process really was the attitude, the energy, the willingness to try things new by everyone on our crew, on our talent. Everyone was just gung-ho. We're all filmmakers starting out, different varying levels of experience, but everyone was gung-ho to try things, to come on board for this project, and to really help us tell a great story. And you know, that's the thing that'll stick with me, thinking 10 years from now, 20 years from now, looking back at this particular moment, was the great team that we assembled and the willingness and attitudes and direction that we were able to go with this project.
Ready?
Ready.
Action. That's a wrap. We're done.
That's a wrap! Woo! We did it. We wrapped. We wrapped. We wrapped.
Woo! Striker. We're done.
That's it. Look at you over there, all wet feet and whatnot. So after Jamien yelled, cut, and that's a wrap, the feeling that you have come racing. You almost don't know what to think. And we weren't on that long of a shoot compared to other feature films that are out there for 60 days or if not more filming. But you're just like, is that it? What just happened? Did we get everything? Are we really done? What? It's just a surreal feeling because that was our first short film. Even now, you know, a few weeks after, sitting back and reflecting, I just don't have the words. It was just an experience.
My biggest takeaway from this entire experience of creating a short film is that everything matters. Every little tiny puzzle piece needs to be nailed down, needs to be talked about and discussed from a point of we need to make sure that we are covering all of our bases. And so it's really that mentality of no stone left unturned. And so I believe we did a pretty decent job at that, especially going into it. There will always be the situations and experiences that we will never know about until we get there. And we saw a lot of that in this time. And so our problem solving skills were on point, and how we worked through it as a team, I thought was excellent.
That was my first Guitar Hero song I ever played.
So I want to give a big shout out to all of our fans, all of our supporters, but specifically our business sponsors. Mullen Trucking, they gave us a great donation that we utilize to help get everyone out there. Logistics, gas, cover mileage on vehicles. Thank you very much. Also, First Street Brewing, they sent us out there with some of their great beers. Our cast and crew got to enjoy those. Shelter Insurance provided us with the insurance that helped cover us in case there was an accident on set. Some great insurance there. Colorado Mountain Man Survival. Jason and Matt, thank you very much for keeping us safe, showing us plants, animals that were safe to eat. That was something I enjoyed especially. And then also Hastings Ford Lincoln for giving us a vehicle, trusting us with a vehicle that we were able to utilize in the film and then help us logistically as far as getting people and supplies and everything out to Colorado and back safely.